What's up, everybody? My name's Jason.
I'm Hilda.
Yeah. And this is Coffee and Cameras. We are EO7 Media, and I'd like to say once a week, but every once in a while, Hilda and I like to sit down and talk about things that interest us in the world of business and marketing. And through this, we like to have a conversation, but we like to help educate a little along the way as well.
And have fun.
And have some fun. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm going to talk about something really quick, and I'm just going to jump into this. Because we're actually introducing a new podcast very soon where we get to talk more about our lives.
Only a podcast, though, or possibly not just a podcast?
Well, I think that's actually a good topic too. Language changes. You know, language doesn't always have to stay the same. And I used to be one of those people who, like, if you didn't pronounce things a certain way, or if you didn't like spell things the correct way, I'd get like really grammar Nazi-ish about it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's kind of dumb because the older I get, the more I realize that language does change. Mm-hmm. You know, like colloquial terms like cool or hip or bad, you know, they had to come from somewhere, and they mean now, in common colloquial terms, things they didn't mean 100 years ago.
100%.
So things change, language change.
Used to mean happy, and now it's like not that. It's something else.
Right.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Thank you, Seinfeld.
You're welcome.
But like the word ain't, the actual history of the word ain't is really interesting.
Okay.
Like we use the word ain't, and you have teachers and, you know, when I'm thinking like when we were kids, okay? And we'd say, you know, you're ugly. No, I ain't. And, you know, because you're badass, you know, you want to stand up for yourself. But adults would hear you say the word ain't, and it's like, that's not a proper word. That's not proper grammar. And the actual etymology, the history of the word is from rich society. It was from very high-end society where people would use the word ain't as, you know, am not. You know, it's a contraction, like isn't or aren't. It's ain't. It's am not.
Wow.
And poor people, lower caste systems started using the word, and the rich elitists were very upset by it because now they didn't have this language to themselves.
So that's when they decided it was uncool,
so
and
they
it was
demonized it.
No.
And they said that's not proper grammar, and since we're rich and we own everything, we're writing that out of the books.
That's fascinating.
To me, the most fascinating part about history in general is how often it changes. You know, like when I was growing up, my dad always said history was his favorite subject because nothing ever changed. And it's like, well, history might not change, but how we write about it and how we teach it absolutely changes.
Yep.
And how language changes over time, you know, a lot of things change over time. And I think that's really fascinating.
My husband hates the word, what is it?
Ginormous?
Ginormous.
I hear a lot of hate on that,
It's like,
too.
that doesn't exist. I'm like, well, it does now.
Yeah, and so I was reading a book years ago. There's a great book series called the Magic 2.0 series. Okay. And it's funny as hell. I'm going to paraphrase this because I can't quote it from memory. But he said a word like his heart was magic-y or something like that. The guy turned to him and he goes, well, that's not a word. He goes, I said it. You understood it via the context. Therefore, it's a word.
Makes sense.
And by definition of what a word is, if you can communicate that word, whether it be spoken or textual or, you know, written, whatever, and you understand it, you're basically saying a word. So just because something didn't exist a minute ago.
That actually makes sense, yeah.
Thank you, Urban Dictionary.
Yeah. Like the word literally, you know, like it became something completely different for what it was intended. Don't get me started on that, but yeah.
Or ironic. A lot of people think ironic is, you know, like the Alanis Morissette, you know, rain on your wedding day. You know, that's ironic.
Isn't it ironic?
It's not. That's dramatic irony. And it's a big difference. I might be wrong. It's been a minute since I stood up to this little like
not know that.
nugget of information. But
are you educating me on literature now?
Dramatic
not just
irony
business?
is what we refer to as irony.
You want me to take out my business notes, or are you going to give me some hints?
I wanted to intro that real quick.
Okay.
So there is. I was listening to NPR this week, like we've been listening to a ton of stuff. Something I heard on NPR was called the taximeter effect.
Taximeter effect.
Taximeter effect.
Okay, what's that?
I'm going to read it just so I don't get it wrong.
Okay.
But the taximeter effect occurs when customers dislike an increase in costs linked to increased usage. So that's like, you know how when you're sitting in a taxi and you're driving to somewhere and you're at a red light and you see that price just clock up.
Oh my God, yes. And your anxiety rises.
I'm not doing anything.
Yes.
Why am I being charged for this? Why do I get charged more when literally I am not getting something from this transaction?
Because you're paying for the taxi's time, I guess.
No, that's true.
Okay.
And, fundamentally that is correct.
Okay.
But it's called the taximeter effect. So it's like, for instance, you go out to a restaurant, okay, and you sit down and you have a steak dinner. And last time you went there, your meal plus your drink was $52.49. Then you tip them and you're good to go.
Yeah.
This time you come back for the same thing, and now your price is a little bit more. It's like, sure, prices go up, but why is it $75 like so dramatically? I mean, yes.
Yeah.
Transfer chains, I'm forgetting the word.
Inflation?
Well, inflation is one thing,
Yeah.
but also, everyone raises the price, so everyone's price is raised. But here's what it boils down to, and I need to learn that.
Okay.
And I'm putting this out there. I'm not going to edit this.
Okay.
Because I want people to know that I'm still learning too.
We're
trying
learning
to be better.
every day, yes.
Yeah. But what this equates to is the next thing I really am interested in. So that's been around for like decades.
Got
the
it.
taximeter effect. There's this new thing, a new mentality out, and I'm not sure if they're calling it the insurance effect or the buffet effect.
Okay.
So people will go to a buffet at, like a sit down for food.
Yeah.
And they're more likely to try new things and step outside of their comfort zone if they know it's a flat fee and they're not going to be charged more for trying the new things. Well, right. So how do you incorporate that into other aspects of life? So if you go to a buffet, it's $20 regardless of what you get.
So like you're going to try that weird looking thing that you would never touch before.
Never have touched.
Because it's not going to cost you anything.
Right.
Okay.
And so this is why I'm thinking it's called the insurance effect. The insurance effect is you have insurance that you've paid that flat fee. So now I can try things. Now I can step outside of my little box and I can try things. So I'm thinking this whole time I'm listening to this is how can you incorporate this into marketing?
Okay.
How can you bring this into your business? How can you say like, hey, you're just going to be charged for this one thing, but we're going to give you options so you can play. And do I know how to do this? No, I don't. And I think that's the beauty, because if I haven't figured this out while playing with this in my mind, while you're listening to this at home or at work, wherever you're at, how can you incorporate this kind of mindset? Now, it doesn't have to be, hey, they paid for one thing, now they can try their things. But it's like, how can your clients feel reassured, feel welcome to try new things, to step outside of their comfort zone? It's not the same thing that they're always used to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know if this is somewhat similar to what you're talking about, but I'm gonna get real now. I go get Botox from this place, and I get some emails, and it's something like I saw that they have like a monthly fee, and I'm like, what's this monthly fee? Like a membership or whatever. And it's like for $300, you can have X amount of treatments or X amount of facial things. Is that what you're talking about? So it's like for a fee, so many things are included. Okay. And I'm like, oh, I wonder if I should sign up for that. So it's like, plus you get a discount on other services and stuff like that. So it's like, maybe it's like a monthly based fee and like it includes certain things, but then it provides the business like a constant income because like obviously a monthly subscription is a lot more profitable than trying to find a new client. You already have the client. Now you're just committing them to a monthly fee.
Right.
So is that sort of what?
I would say yes. And again, like I'm not concrete on this. This is brand new information for me.
Okay.
And I love that because I'm trying to be better.
Yeah.
You know, like how can we grow together through this? So I thought that was really cool. Like,
that is cool.
I mean, I've thought about it being a chubby guy walking into a buffet. I mean, like I can try anything, but it's that assurance. It's that insurance, like assurance. It's walking away feeling I'm okay. I've already paid.
Yeah, like even if like you don't like whatever you got, it's
doesn't
fine
matter.
because
and that
doesn't cost
thank
you
you.
extra.
That's what I was getting toward. So I'm going to tell a really quick story.
Okay.
Because I think this hits it right on the head.
Do I have time to eat another?
You do.
Okay.
So remember years ago when the movie theaters and the movie chains, like the companies, released a thing called Movie Pass.
Remember that vividly.
My wife and I jumped on it.
Okay.
Like we did our due diligence. We read our stuff. We made sure it was a real thing.
For people who don't know what Movie Pass was.
So Movie Pass was this like a subscription-based thing, and for $30 a month, I think it was $30 a month, as long as it wasn't a new run movie, you could go see as many movies as you wanted per month.
It was $20.
I think it was 20.
I remember.
My wife and I jumped on it, and we went to go see a movie. Obviously, again, not a first run. First run means like a movie that just came out that week, or like in the last 3 weeks. If it's a giant movie like Avengers or something like that,
they're going to make you wait.
They're going to make you wait even longer. Okay, they're trying to make their money off. I get it. So we went out and saw movies, and we got to the point where we saw the movies we wanted to. Then we started seeing the movies that we had no interest in.
Because
like,
you could.
Hey, we could.
Wow.
And here's the mentality of it. If the movie sucks, we don't care. Because we've already made our money back after one movie.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
So every movie past that was a bonus. It actually made us try new things. It made us step outside of our box. And we tried movies we had no interest in. Some of them actually being pretty decent. Some of them not so much. But it was an experience. We went out to the theater more often. We paid a lot more in concession fees.
Which is what the theaters make their money on, not on the movies.
So that's actually a really quick. That's how theaters make their money. They make almost zero off the movie ticket sales itself because those cost so much to rent. They only make money off the concessions.
Yep. That's why they don't mind people movie hopping from one movie to the next. They don't care.
As long as you order more food.
Just get more popcorn, and they're like, okay, whatever. They'll turn their eyes away.
I actually might out myself on this one, and I apologize. That's what I do every year for my birthday. Every year I go to a multiplex. I go to the first showing of the day, and I actually map it out. I'm like, this is the movie I'm going to go to. Well, this is an hour, 48 minutes, so I got to figure out like when the next movie starts showing. So I map out and I theater hop all day. But between every single movie,
you buy something.
I will go back to the concession stand and spend about $20.
So they love you.
Yeah. So like, I mean, I buy the pretzel nuggets and the cheese and the drinks and things like that. And to me, it's like I'll happily spend money on the theater.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, but like we got to try new things and we didn't fear missing out. Like I'm going to call it the buffet effect.
Sure. Why not? I love that idea.
Just like noodle around on that. Keep like how can
and I think more and more companies are kind of leaning towards that. I think like because it's a moneymaker. Like I mean, health clubs are like that. They've been doing that for years. It's like you don't pay as you go by the workout. You pay a monthly membership fee.
Right.
And what happens? 90% of the time, the people end up not going and they still get the money, you know? And if they go, so what? It doesn't matter, you know? Yeah.
Now the downside of this, and I do see a giant downside, is complacence.
What do you mean?
So think about this in terms of subscription services for things like Netflix.
Okay.
Netflix, Prime, Hulu. How often do you start a movie and 5 minutes in, you go, nope, not interested, and turn it off?
Very rarely.
Do you really? Like,
yes.
you really sit through almost anything?
No, I give it more than 5 minutes. I give it like 15, 20 minutes.
Oh, right. But you don't watch it all the way through, right?
If it sucks, no.
Yeah. So do you remember when we were kids? We're dating ourselves here. And we would go to VHS stores and like rental places. And when I was a kid, the rule was every time we went, I could pick one movie for myself.
Yeah.
And then my parents picked one or two movies, but I could only have one.
Yeah.
No matter how many I wanted. I got that one.
Yep.
And I remember so many times being lied to by the box cover, that when you got home and you put the tape in and all you're thinking is like,
according
it looks so
to
cool.
the box
well, of course
cover.
not, but I was 10 years old and it was awesome.
Okay.
I still buy movies based on box cover.
Yeah, you do.
But I would put the VHS in and like instantly you just like, oh, this is going to be awful. But that's my one movie for the weekend.
So do you feel like you enjoyed it more because you like that's all you had and you were already committed to it? Like you sort of made yourself like it a little bit more than like you would on Netflix because you didn't turn it off.
I don't
you
know about
watched
like.
it.
I don't no you and that's what it is. You didn't never turn it off. You watched it because it was paid for.
Yes. And it would be a waste of money if you didn't.
But I will say this. If I'm paying for something, especially as an adult,
okay,
like if I go see a movie in the theater and I pay my $15 or whatever it is now, if I pay $15 to go see a movie, I have higher expectations for it better be good. Not it will be good, but it better. Versus if I watch a movie on Netflix.
Oh, 100%.
I'm more apt to try things on
because
Netflix.
Because the money you're spending is more, so therefore your expectations are higher, and then your disappointment is greater.
And my disappointment is greater.
Yeah.
And since my expectations are higher, it's easier to fail on those expectations. So if it doesn't make me feel like it was an experience,
meh. Yeah, yeah.
I feel ripped off.
Yeah.
When I can go home and watch it. So there is a definite downside to this kind of mentality because like when you have complacency, like you start a movie, you don't watch it, you turn it off. Oh, let's start another one. Oh, that one sucks. Turn it off. Do something else.
Yeah. Netflix is not charging you extra for any of those.
They're not charging you extra.
Yeah.
It's a slippery slope of becoming complacent with something if we're paying for a subscription, saying I'm getting what I want. And then are you really enjoying it or is it just fodder at a certain point? So
what's your point to this whole thing?
I don't know. I think really it's just very interesting to think through where the buffet effect is extremely similar with Netflix.
True.
Is, hey, I can try anything. Since I'm not paying individual for it, I'm more apt to try new things. But what happens when we're no longer entertained by the idea of, hey, look, I would have never tried that General Tso's chicken because I always get orange chicken. And then I tried it and I loved it, but now I've tried it so much that I don't appreciate it
So
anymore.
I guess it's a good idea if you're trying to introduce people to something new and they don't want to waste money on it, then like it could be like an all-inclusive thing, like the skincare I was talking about, like it'll include like facials and whatever. I never paid for a facial my entire life, but when I looked at this, I'm like, oh, maybe facials is exactly what I need for my skin, because I'm not like 20 anymore. So I'm like, it needs a little extra care. So I'm actually considering it now because of that. So like I went there for the whole Botox thing. So I have to go back, obviously. But like, I'm like, oh, maybe I need facials. Maybe I need like whatever pore cleansing thing. I don't know what they do, but I'm like, I kind of want to find out, So I see your point. Yeah.
So you've been watching a boatload
I have been
of stuff and reading a boatload of
stuff. Do
stuff.
you want me to look at my notes or you want to look at yours?
You can. I have notes that you sent me to say, hey, remind me about X.
Because like I usually think of this stuff on the way
on
here
the
in traffic, so I'm like, oh, I got to remember this and that. So
tell me about Ringling Brothers and the Circus.
Oh my God. Okay. So I thought this was so fascinating. I was watching, it's like one of these YouTube documentaries when the whole animal advocates, everybody came out like, like the whole horses and elephants and
animals
like,
were being abused.
They were being
droves.
abused. It was just fucking horrible. Like it just makes me sick to my stomach. So Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey Circus actually closed down, like stopped their operations, I think in 2017 officially. This was pre-pandemic.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
So they completely, because like it was such a huge, like people were protesting and whatever. So it was because they were so heavily animal based. Okay.
Right.
So now what they did is they came back and they reinvented themselves. So they had to get a whole new marketing idea and a whole new marketing team behind them. The only thing they have is their name right now. Everything else had to be new. Okay.
I mean, it's a great name. They have a great history. You already have logo. You have logo awareness.
Yes. So they kept the name, but everything else has changed. So even they still have clowns, but they don't call them clowns. They call them something else. It's
really?
Yeah. And they don't have a ringmaster. They have entertainers. Okay. So there isn't there's no more ringmasters and there's no more animals. And this is the part I wanted to talk to you about. Here's what I found fascinating. So the person who was on camera talking about this, they said, we have to keep in mind that the kids who are coming in and the teenagers and the parents, everybody who's coming in, they're the TikTok generation. Okay. What is the most important thing to them? Everything has to be fast and flashy and now. So literally they designed the entire circus that something has to be changing, moving, flashing, starting, or ending in 15-second increments. Okay. Every 15 seconds, there has to be something that grabs the viewer's attention like fucking TikTok. And I was like, are you kidding me? The circus is following TikTok's lead now, okay?
Oh, that's dangerous.
But is it though? Because it's actually working.
Of course it is.
Okay, because the kids are entertained and whatever.
Right.
So there's no animals being abused. There's like, but here's the thing though, like they gotta, like the whole rope walkers and all that. Yeah. So it's like instead of walking on one rope, they're walking on four. Instead of 2 bicycles, they have elevated bicycles. So it's like you have to up it for the attention. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's like an action movie.
It is.
If you're not John Wick, you're not anything.
Yeah.
Your movie isn't good.
Yeah.
Like you need to keep upping the ante.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, I get that the TikTok generation, the instant gratification.
But also the attention thing, because it's like if there's a clown just like riding around on a bicycle, I'm sorry, I'm going to be fucking bored too.
Right.
I'm going to be bored, So it's like I also want to be entertained. So I'm kind of interested and curious, like, like I might go, I might
really
see. Yeah. I mean, I like live entertainment, so why not?
That's awesome.
I watched Cirque du Soleil on my honeymoon, and that was like one of the best shows I've ever seen. So I think Ringling Brothers is trying to get there.
That makes sense.
But Cirque du Soleil is like next level.
It's a whole nother thing.
It's amazing.
Andy and I went to go see one. We went to go see the water one.
Oh,
it was mind blowing. Like everyone tells you it's so cool, and then you look at it, you're like, I don't. No. This looks so boring to me.
No,
but when you see it in person,
like chills the whole time. It's unreal.
It is unreal. And then she went to go see another show with her mom and her sister in Vegas.
Wow.
And it's intense.
Yes.
It's like the first time you see Blue Man Group. By the way, don't ever see Blue Man Group twice. The second time, not that good.
Yeah, I mean, because it's the same shtick, but it is entertaining the first time, 100%.
It is wildly entertaining the first time. The second time, it's like, shoot.
So anyway, I thought that was interesting that a circus that was started or an entertainment 1800s, like 1870 something, and when they were talking about it, like they were all on the trains and going into towns, and they had to find some place to park and like places to unload. Do you know how long those trains were? They had 3 trains. Each train was a mile long.
Whoa.
That's how much stuff that they had going from place to place. And then they had to unload all.
Really?
Like, it wasn't like 10 elephants. It was 50 elephants. It was 50 tigers. It was.
If you're going to go big, go big.
Holy cow.
I believe, tell me if I'm wrong here, but I believe Barnum and Bailey, my dog is going nuts upstairs. I believe Barnum and Bailey were like the originators of modern day marketing.
I believe you're right.
They would roll into a town. They would paper
everything,
flyer the entire town, and get people to come in for the event and be like, hype it up, hype it up. It's bigger than you've ever seen. It's
the greatest show on earth.
This is the greatest show.
That was their tagline. And could there be a better tagline than the greatest show on earth? Like, if you've never seen a circus and this rolls into town and you see like a train that's a mile long, like parked outside your city or whatever, and there's like, you hear lions roaring, and the freaking elephants making noise, like you would lose your mind. You would want to know what this is.
Yeah.
And of course, if you've never seen animals like this or entertainment like this, it would be the greatest show on earth to you. So yeah, he was a genius at marketing. I mean, because he didn't start at 1 mile long,
correct.
it's like he worked his way there, so I find stuff like this so fascinating. I love documentaries or anything that has to do with that. So it just happened to tie into marketing. So I just wanted to tell you about it. It was
what
awesome.
can we take away from that? Because I think every good story, every chunk of knowledge we can take, whether we heard it into our business or help someone else with
Well,
theirs.
I think what they did was smart is that they listened to client feedback that they didn't like the animals being abused or used for, and it's like, I can see like dogs or horses to a point because they're working animals. Like they've been with humans for so long, but
they
I
shouldn't
totally
be abused regardless.
No, not abused, not abused, but like trained, so it's like once I found out that like even the dogs, like they walk a certain way on their hind feet because like they're paws are being
I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
I'm
Anyway,
sorry,
yes. So they went along with the times and the changes and like what people wanted, and they pivoted. They switched their outlook on the marketing and what people want, and they're like, oh, you like TikTok? Okay, we'll give you 15-second, like changes, like, and then we'll give you the entertainment. We'll give you higher and brighter and flashier, and just so you can come back and see it. So like, you're not going to miss the elephants because we're going to give you 15 other things to look at and we're going to make it more entertaining. So I don't think people are going to be missing anything. They're just going to be extra excited for the new things. So,
I agree.
Yeah.
And I totally take back about what I said about it being dangerous because
it is dangerous. It's dangerous for humans now, but the difference is that the humans are there willingly and they know the chances they're taking. Like when the guy's like 200 feet up on a tightrope
it's
with
insane.
I'm not saying I'm a fan of that, but I'm like, okay, that dude is making a decision. He's doing what he wants.
He's signing his insurance forms.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't want him to fall or be hurt, but like, it's much better than seeing animals be hurt. So I'm super thrilled that public pressure does work when it comes to animals and being, protected. And I hope, that they just keep on that track because that makes me happy.
Something I take away from what you're saying here is we are bowing down to the audience expectations for attention spans. And I think heading into 2024 and beyond, I think attention spans are going to continuously get shorter and shorter. For years, I think for 10 years or so, the marketing rule of thumb was you had 6 to 8 seconds to hook someone before they moved on to something else. 6 to 8 seconds. The new rule is 3.
3 seconds.
You have 3 seconds to hook someone.
Yeah.
It's going to get worse. So the attention span isn't the issue. The issue is that we are living in an age right now where we have so much content.
Yep.
Constantly being created. It's being said that there is so much content created every year that we are doubling the data that came before us. Meaning in 2023, we have more data in 2023 than we did in 2022 and before combined. In 2024, we're going to have more data than we did in 2023 and before combined.
Do you want to hear the most ironic part, though? That's still not enough. That's why Instagram and YouTube are pushing video, is because they constantly want people to make more. That's why they're featuring content creators that get more views. That's why they're practically begging people to make more videos, because unless we make the videos for them to show, they have nothing to show.
They have nothing to show.
So, yeah. Keep making those videos.
It is not, I mean, it is. It's becomes a numbers game to a certain degree. But like brands, when they're making their own videos, you're creating a culture. You're creating a tribe of followers. So be sure you're not always advertising. You're not always like, like and subscribe, because that shit will turn people off.
That's key. You have to entertain. You have to inform.
But it all comes down to value.
Value. Yes, you have to provide
How
value.
are you providing value to your listeners?
100%.
So, on that note, tell me all about the Genesis rebranding.
Okay.
Tell me about that.
So this is kind of like not related to anything we've been talking about, but I thought it was fascinating. Okay,
You
so
just destroyed my segue.
No. It's all good. It still has to do with marketing, but like it surprised the heck out of me. So I wanted to tell you about this. Okay, so I've been looking at cars and stuff, because I just bought one. So I've been paying attention to what people are driving and what's around me. But like this was so obvious that like I wasn't even like looking to see what it was like. So I've been seeing like this year these like cool ass looking cars, okay, that I've never seen before. And I kind of glance over, I'm like, I wonder what that is. And instead of like having like the logo that we're used to, like Kia or Hyundai or Toyota, it is literally that says Genesis, and it's all spelled out like in separate letters, and it takes up the entire back of the car. And I'm like, what the F is a Genesis, right? So I saw it once, I saw it twice, I saw it 3 times. I finally went home and I remembered to Google, and I typed in Genesis car, and guess what it is? Stop Googling, because I'm about to tell you.
Okay, sorry. I was super interested in seeing this.
So I finally Googled it, and it's fucking Chrysler. Chrysler released Genesis, but they're not putting the Chrysler logo on it. They're just putting Genesis on it, because look at what it did to me. It literally, I'm like, what is that? So it made me do a double take, wonder what Genesis is, made me go to fucking Google to look it up, and it's Chrysler just being a fucking genius at marketing, because they put out a new car named Genesis, but they did not put any Chrysler logo or anything like that on there. So people are almost forced to find out what it is, because you're like, what is this? Because the car looks different. The name is different. There's no other branding. Okay. So I was like mind blown. I was shocked at not only what I was seeing, but like once I found out what they were doing, I'm like, this is fucking genius. So because what do you think of Chrysler? You think of, old people car. Like and nobody talks about Chrysler
That's exactly
anymore.
what I was thinking.
No.
I've never had a positive affiliation with Chrysler.
Because like the last time I saw somebody drive a Chrysler, it was like somebody's grandma, right? What?
Dude, these Genesises are really pricey.
How much? I don't even know.
The lowest I'm seeing right now is $62,000.
This is what I'm saying. So it's like
$100,000, $75,000, $90,000.
So they went from like maybe middle to lower class cars that weren't selling to look at that. Like they're like a brand new high-end car now. Like they're Mercedes rivals now. Okay. Like that's what they did with their rebranding. And did you see any advertisements for it? Because I didn't.
No, I've never seen it.
All I did was I started seeing cars with the word Genesis on it, and that was enough. That's the brilliance of that marketing. They just fucking put it out there. They just sold it. I don't know how they did it, but I'm like fascinated by this. So I want to dive into this and learn more.
That's amazing.
Now. I know, right? So I've never seen such like a subtle push. Like they're not marketing. Like I'm doing my own. It is marketing. Yes, but I feel like
you're forcing the audience to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Which kind of blew my mind. And I'm like, wow, like I kind of want to do something cool like that, but it's like, I don't know what.
That's a baller move.
It's a huge baller move. Because like you look at like, Lexus and like fucking Tesla and whatever, they're always like pushing it, and Audi, and like, like they're climbing up a mountain and shit, and that's how they're making their money, and like buying Super Bowl commercials. I didn't see anything for Genesis.
Yeah.
I just saw the cars on the road with a name I didn't recognize, and I was impressed enough to Google it.
At some point, we have to have my wife on the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
She has a rich, thick history knowledge of advertising.
Mm-hmm.
She is a giant fan of the marketing agency Crispin Porter Pogusky. And she'll tell you like all these crazy things. But that sounds like something like they might do. Crispin Porter was all about trying to do out-of-the-box things to garnish attention. So I'm really interested. If you do dig into this, I want to see like who
I will look into
did this, because it sounds very on brand with them.
Okay. And I also, if you're bringing her on, we got to talk about that water, that death something water.
Liquid Death.
Liquid Death, yes. Because
I love Liquid Death.
The marketing on that is like next level awesomeness.
My wife and I have a separate YouTube channel, and we were starting to get decent hits. We review movies, we watch movies and comment over them.
What's it called?
Go ahead. It's called Two Cats on a Couch. Two Cats on the Couch. Two Cats on the Couch. And quickly realized how much funnier my wife is than me. Like, she's hilarious. When the camera turns on, she's go.
Dave made a maze. I watched the beginning of this and it was super cool, and then I fell asleep. Jay, take it from here.
She is amazing. And we were like, well, maybe we can look into sponsorship. And we had a talk on the channel. It's like, who would we want to have sponsored us? And they grow up, like, they... Thank you.
That felt good.
that water felt good?
Yeah, Liquid Death.
Does it feel cool to have
Liquid Death, if you want to sponsor us, I will take free water. I love this water, but it's too expensive to buy.
Liquid Death came to be the number one thing because they're very in line with our aesthetic, and we're in line with theirs. And so I started doing research. Liquid Death is a really cool company, and I'll save it for an episode when Andy actually comes on. But Liquid Death is a really neat.
We could have a whole episode
system.
on Liquid Death.
I think we should. Yeah,
their marketing is out of this world.
Awesome.
Now, with millions of people wearing Liquid Death MeUndies to their annual checkup, we will brainwash doctors everywhere and be one step closer to our ultimate goal of turning all liquids into Liquid Death one day.
With other workout devices, there's no easy way to hydrate. But now there's the Chest Blaster by Liquid Death.
God, I want to go into it now, but let's wait on it. Something I heard this past week, and I want to pass this on to the world. I think it's phenomenal. I've been saying the same thing for years.
What?
But I haven't been saying it in a cohesive way like this.
Okay.
Short form media, be it shorts, reels, TikToks, whatever, are like candy. Okay? And candy is awesome. You really like candy. You really just want to get that bag of candy and have a piece and be like, that's gone.
Yep.
I'm going to have another one.
Yep.
And how many times when you're eating through a bag of candy, like say a bag of Skittles, how many times do you think back and go, the fourth piece that I ate out of the 20 was the best one?
Interesting.
You kind of don't.
Yeah.
It's this quick rush. It's like flavor's good.
Yep.
It's fun.
It gives you that boost that you need.
It gives you a quick little boost of sugar rush.
Yep.
But then when you're done with it, you're actually lower than you were when you started.
And you're like, what's for dinner?
And then your body says, I want a meal.
Yes.
And that's what long form media is.
Okay.
So that's why we do shows like this, because we're trying to make more long form content because we see the future of this. Short form is awesome for the now.
Yep. Snacks are good, but you still need a meal.
But you still need a meal. So thinking this way, I think eventually we're going to get burnt out as a culture.
Meaning that on the
short
short form, yeah.
I think short form media is really good for the quick attention. And we've talked about it on the show before, but...
And I think there's always going to be a place for that. Yeah. But like right now it's just so overwhelming. It's like it's everywhere. Yeah.
We're going to get the pendulum effect here. Oh, is it almost dinner time?
Yep.
Yeah. But short form is really good because, it gets you your information really quick and people's attention span is shorter. So I want short form. But what's going to happen is eventually your body, your brain, your attention span is going to need a meal. And you're going to seek something out. And that's why they're seeing a giant boom right now on YouTube of long form content.
Interesting.
Like so much so that YouTube doubled down, put all this money this year into podcasting networking on YouTube.
Wow.
Like they want YouTube to be like the next big podcast central place because of long form content.
Wait a minute. So podcast meaning that people are talking like us, but they're being seen. So this is also
not
podcast?
Always.
Okay.
So the word podcast actually, by definition, means audio.
Okay.
Audio only.
Okay, but a lot of people are filming themselves and still calling it a podcast.
Correct.
Okay.
And that's where I started this whole conversation off, is that language changes. Language evolves. We start off with podcast being audio only. And the beauty of that is most people listen to podcasts when either they're working, when they're traveling, when they're commuting, or when they're just, out walking, doing other things.
Yep. So they don't need to be watching a screen.
Yeah. And that's why when we do this episode, it can be perfectly done as a, hey, do you want to watch it or do you want it in the background?
Yep.
That's
just
why
listen to
we
it.
offer it as a podcast and as a show.
Gotcha.
And we don't do a lot of B-roll. When we do it, but most of the time it's about the conversation. Language of podcast is now video as well.
Gotcha.
So YouTube is really pushing the forward momentum that what we're doing right now, these long form conversations are probably more beneficial than short form content. I watched this awesome interview with, you know who Mr. Beast is, right?
Of course.
Okay. His manager, the guy who guides Mr. Beast, the guy who works on Mr. Beast, and he is like the financial puppet master behind Mr. Beast.
I don't even know the names of these TikTok channels. There's like people with 50 million followers on TikTok, and I remember seeing their face scrolling through, but I can't identify what the channel name is. I think that's different on YouTube.
Right.
If someone has 50 million subs, I've watched 2 videos, I remember the channel name.
Yeah.
If I could watch a TikTok from someone, I could watch 30 TikToks from a TikToker and I could not even remember their name because you're through it so quick. You're like 5 seconds and you're gone on to the next. You just don't even pay attention.
There's no return on investment. People typically don't follow creators of short form content unless they have a ton of extremely similar videos over and over.
And it worries me for you guys see this, the people growing on YouTube with YouTube Shorts. I don't think they're growing fan bases. I think people are just flicking through YouTube Shorts. They're getting hundreds of millions of views a month. But when they go to do something like even sell apparel, like nobody wants it because they just haven't built a community.
So if you were to go on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube and you're just going through videos, how many times do you have to see a video before you subscribe to the channel?
I can tell you because I literally have been paying attention since we started this whole show. Because I watch a lot of shorts, like when I'm starting to fall asleep because they're short, obviously. And then I started remembering, I'm like, oh, I keep watching the same people over and over again. I think I probably watched the same person's shorts at least a minimum of a dozen times, probably more like 24, before I wondered who they are and what their channel's actually about. So a lot. You have to be exposed to a lot before you actually are interested in what else they have to offer.
Yeah. So the new number is anywhere between 20 and 30.
Hey!
You have to watch a brand's video, 20 or 30 different videos.
Yes, different.
Before you go, who is this?
Yes.
Let me look into them.
Yes. That's how I discovered the guy with the hat and the glasses. What's his name?
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Because you are literally talking about branding. You can't even remember his name.
Nope.
And that's where shorts fail. Shorts do not make you remember the brand.
Wow,
They make
good
you
point.
remember the gag.
Or the visuals. So
Or the
that's why it's
visuals.
important to have the same visuals
Correct.
all the time.
This is why I always wear a hat.
This is why I'm always blonde.
This is why you're always pretty. You always have to have the pretty light. So, but I mean, think of shorts like commercials. Like you remember when commercials were like everywhere and like you had to watch them between your shows?
Yep.
How many times would you like tell your friends, it's like, oh, I watched this awesome commercial for this truck and it was going off a cliff and the ex-girlfriend was at the bottom of a
Never.
ravine and she was like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where she was at the bottom of the ravine and she's like, let it go. And they drop the truck and it comes down and all the dust goes, but the truck is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And she's all mad. But can you remember the brand of the truck?
No.
Well, I mean, obviously not because you don't remember the commercial,
Yeah.
but like how many times did you like regurgitate a commercial to someone and not remember the brand?
If I'm regurgitating a commercial, I remember the brand.
Do you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's really interesting because I mean, people all the time will like tell me a commercial. And I'm like, cool, who was it for? And they'll say, well,
Okay, maybe I don't remember all the
don't
time.
remember.
Okay, that's a valid point because shit, you're right. I do remember telling you about something and you said, oh, what was it for? And I couldn't remember, but you're right. I remember the story more than I remember like, oh, and this is for brand X or whatever.
because facts tell, stories sell.
I love that.
You can tell me a fact all day. I'm not gonna give. I'm not gonna give. I'm not gonna care.
Yeah. Yeah.
You tell me a story.
Yeah.
I'll pay attention.
Yeah.
And I'm hooked.
I don't know why I keep thinking about that. Oh my God, this is going to date me so much. But there was a Cindy.
We do a lot of dating in this
I
show.
know. Well, not the fun dating, but like how
Less
old
fun.
we are dating. Cindy Crawford had a commercial for Pepsi.
I remember that,
for a while.
Yeah.
But there was this one specific one that where she is on the side of the road and then she goes and gets a Pepsi and there's like this little boy like leaning on the fence like watching Cindy Crawford drink a Pepsi, and I never wanted to drink a Pepsi more.
Really?
Because I wanted to be like Cindy Crawford. I wanted to be the girl that was dusty and hot at the same time and like, you know, like be drinking a Pepsi and have all the admirers. Like that made such an impression on me that I still think about that to this day.
Really?
Yeah. And it's like, yes, I still drink Pepsi, but I drink everything else too, you know, but I'm like, I wonder like why that. So it must be for the story, like, because it wasn't just
It's the story.
drink a Pepsi, you know, or like hear Cindy Crawford. Like they had to like get me emotionally involved in the story of how Cindy Crawford ended up drinking a Pepsi all dusty on the side of the road.
Yes. Let's go down this avenue because I think we can extrapolate this quite a bit.
Okay.
I think every business owner out there, every business owner watching this, every business owner in existence can talk about their business to the nth degree and really break down what goes into their product or their service.
Yep.
It's so easy as a business owner to tell you all the advantages. Like here's some bed sheets. Okay. Like you're selling bed sheets.
Okay.
And it's very easy to go, well, it's 70% cotton. It's 15% spandex. It's 15% bamboo and all these essential oils in it. It's like, I don't care. You lost me. I don't give a about the facts.
Okay.
Unless I am a fanboy. Like if Sony releases a new camera, I'm going to check out the specs. I'm going to check out the facts.
Yeah.
Okay. But at the end of the day, will it make my work better? Will it do something better for me so I can help my clients? If you are selling me a bed, I mean a bed sheet,
Okay. So what would sell you a bed sheet?
this is going to be the most relaxing, comfortable night of sleep because you aren't going to sweat. You're going to really be comfortable and calm so that you can get up and work and be around your family, be around your kids, go to work and not be stressed because you're finally getting that good night of sleep.
Yep.
And that's a story.
Yep. That makes sense.
And if Margot comes home from a stressful day and her kids are stressing her out and she just can't get it, but she got her new sheets in the mail and she puts them on and she has the best night of sleep and she wakes up and the kids screaming. She's like, kids will be kids, you know?
I don't know where I saw this, but it definitely made me, I think it wasn't so much of a commercial on TV, but I remember seeing it somewhere and it has to do with sheets. And it was something to the effect of, are you tired of rolling over in your own sweat or something like very, dramatic like that. And it was like in the middle of summer. And it's like, did you ever think about bamboo sheets? And I'm like, what?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I freaking ran out and bought bamboo sheets
too.
effing day because,
I did too.
And you know what? It makes a difference. They are cooler.
They're amazing.
They're cooler than anything. Yes.
But you could tell me the actual science behind it, and I don't care.
No. It's like you don't want to sweat. You want to be cooler. There you go. There's your selling point.
That's my story.
Yes, that's the story.
That's the story.
I'm tired of being hot in the middle of the night and waking up. Like, I don't want to wake up. I want to roll over to the cool side of the sheet, and that's what bamboo's going to do for me.
You want your bed to be Billy D. Williams. Always cool, baby.
Oh my God, you are so dorky, I swear.
He's cooler than the other side of the pillow.
I can't deal with you.
I know. But story sells.
Yes,
Facts
exactly.
tell. So as a business, it's very easy to fall into the fact side because we want to tell the cool things about it because we're into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's okay to mention it. Yeah.
It is.
But don't put your entire advertising around it. Yeah.
So for years, everyone says when you're building a website, don't tell me what you do. I'm not interested in no one's interested in what you do. Tell me the benefits of what you do. So on our website and good websites, I'm not saying ours is a great website. We're constantly tinkering, trying to make it better.
Yep.
We, and a lot of companies, try to say, this isn't what we do. This is what we do for you.
Yes. We need to offer a solution to the client's problem. Yes.
So it's all about, hey, we take away the burden. And the emphasis isn't on the we. The emphasis is on your burden.
Yes. How we can help you. How we can make your life
you
easier.
have a better life so that you can focus more on what's important, bringing in more work, on taking care of your employees, whatever it is. So I think all businesses should really think about that is what are the benefits of what you offer? If you're selling me bed sheets, what are the benefits of those bed sheets? And that's the wording. That's the wording that's been used for at least a decade. Since I first started, was sell the benefits, don't sell the thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? No one gives a shit about the bed sheets.
Yep.
They care about the good night of sleep.
What got my attention wasn't that the bed sheets were made of bamboo. It was the fact that I'm going to have a cooler, more restful night of sleep. I'm like, yes, I would like some of that, please.
Yeah, right.
And then first thing I did was run out and buy some. And boy, was it good. Yeah.
And actually, I never saw a commercial for it. I had people tell me it's cooler and you don't sweat.
And I actually want to say that it was something on Amazon. Maybe it was a review I was reading or something like that.
Reviews are powerful because reviews are stories.
True. That's what it was. I was searching for new bed sheets and I came across a review and somebody said, check out the bamboo bed sheets because they're cooler, and that's it. Oh my God, that's exactly what it is. Because I'm like, I don't watch commercials. I was wondering where I got it from. That's what it was. It was a review.
Yeah, and there is a tactic. I think it's kind of scummy that people can go to other brands on Amazon or any kind of site and then review something and say, well, I did buy this, and they can have a verified, purchase. But it wasn't as good as X. And let's be honest, you hear that on a review. Go look. I bought red bed sheets, but I didn't sleep as good as on blue bed sheets. And then, I can't tell you the amount of times I've done that from one review.
You went?
That I don't even look at who this person is or what they do or what else they offer, what other reviews they've done. I look at that and go, what do you mean this product that I've been doing research on isn't as good as X? I'm going to go check X out. That sounds even better. Literally, it just gets in your head. So if you have a competition, you know, let's say you sell mufflers.
Okay.
And another company sells mufflers, and they're the same muffler. Let's say like there's no really benefit to the other one. You could buy your competition's muffler, give a review, because you do need that check mark that says verified purchase.
Yes.
And then you give a review that says, well, this muffler is okay, but it's not as good as this other muffler I bought afterwards. And it's a scummy way of doing it because you're literally attacking another brand. But that purchase of that other company's mufflers, sure, it might have been candy for that other company to make that money right then. But that meal, that story is going to benefit the long run, because how many people are going to look at that candy muffler and go, oh, I read this review, I'm going to buy this one instead.
Interesting.
So facts tell. Facts are like candy. Facts are like shorts. They're just cool. That's enough, but it's not willing to sell me to get to their page. I'm not convinced to get their page.
And that's the thing though, like you can't, like, people are so jaded when it comes to like being sold to.
Oh, 100%.
So it's like,
rightfully so.
And that's why it's important to tell the story, because then it doesn't feel like selling. It feels like I am just sharing the experience that very perfect example is like you discovered that amazing pillow and the first thing you did was you send me a message and you're like, I got the best pillow ever. I've never had a better night's sleep. And you know, I have a hard time sleeping.
No joke.
And you just like linked me and you messaged me and I'm like, I'm looking at the price and I'm like, this is ridiculous.
It's shocking how much these cost.
Okay. It was like over $50. That's all I remember.
Mine was $120.
Okay. I guess I didn't buy a big giant man pillow, but mine was like close to 80, I think, which is ridiculous
for a pillow.
For pillow. Yeah. Okay. But I'm used to buying like the 2-for-1 thing at Costco or Target or whatever. And like it gets yucky and you know,
3 months
and you throw it out.
Yeah.
Okay. But I've been sleeping on that pillow for over a year and it's the best fucking thing you've ever recommended.
Actually a year and a half because we bought it 2022
and I cannot
June.
think, every time I put my head down, I think of your recommendation.
Yeah.
Okay. So because you told me about how well you sleep and it was a true to life story. It was a story. And I trust you for your recommendation. So that was amazing. So thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll leave that pillow link down in the description below. But literally like we don't really recommend brands all that often, but that is one I will recommend to hell and back.
Yeah, 100%.
My neck always hurts. And my back always hurts.
All the time.
And we bought a really expensive mattress and it didn't help. It helped for like a month and then it started hurt again. And my wife and I will switch sides like every few months because my back's always hurting. But for a year and a half now, I'm sleeping.
It's the pillow.
It's the pillow.
It's the pillow, 100%.
And I used to sleep with like 3 pillows because like I need my neck arched up.
Because it's never right.
Because it's never right. Or like I fold one up and do other things. And then I bought this pillow because I read the reviews. Actually, what I read was what is an out-of-the-box Christmas present that you would give to someone?
I think you found this on Reddit.
I did.
Yes.
I found it on Reddit. It was what is an out-of-the-box Christmas present? And I added it to my cart. And I was like, you know what? One of these days, I'm going to have $100 to shell out on a pillow. One of these days.
Yeah.
And then we started working last year. And we had that giant project last year where the money wasn't coming in yet, but it was going to come in. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy myself a pillow because I'm sleeping like crap right now.
Yep. And I think after I got paid on that project, I ran out.
That was it.
The pillow too.
It was during the project I bought it. And I was like,
this
it was
is amazing. It's amazing. Yeah.
And I actually bought another one. So now we have 2.
You have 2. I'm so jealous.
And like, I forgot about the gift aspect about where I learned that from.
Yeah.
That it was a great gift because I read a story on Reddit where it's like my dad's friend or like my uncle, something like that, bought everyone in the family this pillow. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, what are you talking about?
That's the most ridiculous thing ever.
It's
like, why would you want to give everybody a pillow? But after sleeping on it, I want to give fucking everybody a pillow like this.
So then the guy said, I got it. I laughed. But now the next year, all my friends got a pillow.
Yep.
And it sounds so stupid. But if I ever get a boatload of cash again, I'm buying all my friends that pillow. No question.
That's awesome.
It's wonderful. But again, it's the story.
Yeah.
You know, you could tell me what the pillow's made about.
I couldn't f***ing tell you the name of the pillow now.
I couldn't tell you the brand.
No, I couldn't. But I know how to look it up on Amazon.
That's why I just said I'm going to link it down in the description below, because if I'm really smart and I'm watching this when I'm editing, I'll put a little like brand logo right here.
Yeah.
But
And here's the thing, though. That company doesn't have to buy Super Bowl ads or anything or advertise or hire a celebrity.
No.
All they have to do is just keep making good pillows and the stories will come.
to be completely honest, I have never seen any marketing from them.
No.
And now I kind of want to. I'll report back. That'll be like my book report, my homework. I'll look into their marketing.
You can cut this part out and put
just give it to
the
them?
link to Amazon and like how Amazon has reviews and video reviews.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think that's a great idea.
Done.
And then I'm just going to send it to them.
Yes.
And they'd be like, buy this pillow. right there. And they're like their brand logo will be like right here.
EO7 Media loves.
Really, it is. And it's like, I actually have a list of like home things, like things that I really
Yes.
like on a kit.co. on a website, and that pillow's on it.
Oh,
'Cause
nice.
I respect the hell out of them so much
Cool.
for that. I know
Yeah.
we're going way too down.
No, it's fine.
Too much into this.
I bought a lot of stuff from stuff you recommend because like you're really all about the high quality and weeding out the crap. Yeah.
Like tape, like double-sided tape. If the tape doesn't hold, I'm never going to recommend it. But if I find one that actually works, you better know I'm going to recommend
that
it.
clamp that holds the camera that went on the.
Yes, I actually did a whole video about that.
Okay.
We bought this to attach to our GoPros, and my personal favorite, we did this with it.
Harder than the rest, work hard to be the best. I'm up now, I don't care who's next. I'm the greatest alive. You see the look in my eyes, I got the will to win with the hunger and drive.
We did a video because we found a clamp that we could attach a GoPro to.
Yep.
And the clamp was so insanely secure. We were worried about this. We
Yep.
were shooting a garbage company.
Yep.
And we attached it to a crane, and the crane was like jerking everywhere.
It's a
And
huge fucking thing.
all over garbage.
Yeah,
and if
and
it
it's
fell, it would have been
doing its
gone
thing.
forever.
Yep. We would have
Not
never
only
found
did it not slip off, but the arm never moved. It was the
Really?
smoothest shot. It was beautiful.
Wow.
And because of that shot, I was like, I will recommend this product
Wow.
all the time.
Yeah,
And I
I
made like
re-
4 videos out of
I
that.
remember you taking it off, and I remember like the look on your face, and you're like, "This thing never moved."
It was
and it was on there
astonishing.
for a long time.
It was like
and
15, 20 minutes.
Oh,
yeah.
it was like moving. Like
Yeah.
I was scared as.
Meanwhile, the drone guy hit a piece of garbage and then lost the drone. So like
In the garbage,
so we had to go
remember?
find the drone.
Oh my God. Did he find it?
Yeah.
Okay.
He found
Oh
it,
my
but it
God.
took a little while searching. But that
Yeah,
clamp
that's scary.
never moved.
That's awesome.
It was ridiculously cool.
Yeah.
Like during Coffee and Cameras, like let us know down in the comments if you would dig this or not. But maybe we could like once a week like recommend something.
Ooh,
that people
like
would
something we like?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it wouldn't be shilling for the company. It wouldn't be like trying to make money on our end.
No,
but like
no, just like
legitimately
stuff
something we respect.
Like when I discovered the magic eraser cleaning thing, dude,
that was awesome.
I lost my mind.
I think you told us about that.
Oh my
and I
God.
flipped
I'm like, this thing actually works better than advertised.
Oh, yeah,
That
yeah.
never happens.
Now, if you use it too much,
oh yeah,
it
then it'll
will
take your
away
wall
paint.
off. So you got to be careful. Yes. But oh my God, making the tub shine and the sink and everything. Oh, that makes me so happy.
And they're relatively cheap for what they do.
And now they have it at the dollar store.
Oh, nice.
Yes, which is like $3 something at Walmart, and it's like $1.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Again, story, like literally, we heard Hilda talk about an eraser, a cleaning product, but it takes away. Like you're actually telling it, like
Yeah.
you're getting excited about it. So that's the story.
because it saves me all the work, like it cuts down half the work. So it's like, yeah, and it I love talking about anything that lives up to my expectations and then some. Yeah.
On that note, for the future, I'd like to do something like that where we talk about a brand or a product.
Okay.
But also, you've been talking about this for a long time, and we're not going to start it this week, but we're going to start it next week. And I want you to come prepared for this.
Okay.
A company that we respect is doing something that is making a difference.
Got it. Yep.
Like you, every week when we get together, you're just like, hey, did you hear about X?
Yep.
You know, they're helping Y.
Yep.
You know, they're doing this amazing thing.
Yeah. Like, for example, LRS, who bought like the landfill, and they're like very eco-friendly
Right.
about how they dispose of garbage, and they think about the future,
Right.
and they're not going to just dump it and forget it. They're actually processing it. So companies like that.
Yeah, they bought the landfill for the express purpose of doing it right.
Yes.
And to show everyone, it's like, this isn't the kind of landfill you think it is. It's not the landfill that scummy companies do.
Exactly.
This is actually going to help the world.
And the way they process it, like eventually when there's no more things to put in there.
It's remarkable.
Like they'll put a park over it and nobody will ever know.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be totally sanitary.
There's no leakage.
There's nothing. Like they make, like they pull out all the leaky batteries and they watch out for stuff like that. So they're super eco-friendly. So like there's creeks near the landfill, so they never want to damage any of the wildlife or anything like that. So companies like that I want to talk about.
That kind of shook me when he was talking about that, about
Really?
like they have all these like lakes and the wildlife around there.
And you literally saw the wildlife still living there, even though like the garbage is literally being dumped like half a mile from
And
there.
you would never think that's what a landfill looks
no,
like. You
and
see
it didn't smell. That was the
a
weirdest
single thing.
freaking thing.
We were there for like 8 hours.
Like we were literally on top of the biggest landfill I've ever seen my entire life. And I'm like, oh, this doesn't stink. Like my garbage stinks worse than that.
Yeah, it just looks like a big field.
Totally.
It was incredible. So
It
like,
was incredible.
So we want to like shine a spotlight on companies that are actually doing something. Whether we worked with them or not, we worked with LRS. We got to be there for that.
Yeah.
But if a company's actually doing something, like we want to
And making a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While we can do this all day and find companies that we like, we want to hear from you guys. We want to hear what companies you feel are making a difference.
Yep.
Recommend them down in
We would love to talk about
the
them.
comments. We would love to talk about them, and then tell us why. Tell us like what they're actually doing.
And especially if you have some local companies, that would be a huge bonus.
Mom and pop places,
yes,
anything.
yes. Even if it's something like they're not using plastic straws, they switch to
And that's still
recyclable.
a big thing.
It is.
You're
It's
literally
huge.
helping change the world.
100%.
You know, every little step becomes an army.
Yep.
So if enough people join those steps,
Love that.
I heard my words in my head and they made sense, and then I said them out loud and they didn't really work that well.
I thought of this this restaurant in Chicago that they recycle everything they produce.
Wow.
But they also grow their own vegetables on the roof, and like literally everything is so eco-friendly. Like you could practically eat the plates if you wanted to, like stuff like that. So, and I love because like that's what's going to make a difference. Like 50 years from now, 100 years from now, it's like companies like that and people who support the companies is going to have that great effect of putting more pressure on the bigger companies to like, for example, I'm going to say this real quick. Oh, I hate shopping at Walmart because they're such a big company and it's like, I really don't want to, but everything is so expensive nowadays. But so I put my order in and I go pick it up. Now Walmart has the option of don't use plastic bags. I bring my own bags. That made me so happy. It's just a small,
really new.
It's a small thing. So when you go to the drive up, like you have your own bags, you know, like when they load up your car, I'm like, I don't have to worry about recycling the plastic bags or anything. I'm like, I have my own bags. Just put it in my trunk. That's all I need. So small things like that. So I think that kind of comes from, you know, the consumer. Like they were like, okay, let's put the pressure on the big companies. So if Walmart is paying attention, you know, that's a huge thing.
I agree.
So let's keep
totally
doing
agree.
more of that.
That's beautiful.
I love that.
And then spread that out. So this might be one of the later episodes of 2023 going into 2024. Looking forward to 2024.
Yeah.
We're going to have 3 shows on EO7 Media. We're going to have the pitch session. We're going to have coffee and cameras. And then we're going to have No Filter. For No Filter, grab a drink with us because you're going to drink. I might drink on one.
You better.
I might not.
How about this?
That's not me.
Okay,
That's not my brand.
I know. But Drinky Jason is funny.
Maybe one time.
Okay, maybe one time.
For coffee and cameras, something we want to do is while we're educating, and again, we're educating you, but we're educating us at the same time. We're also going to bring people on.
Yep, I'm excited for that.
We've wanted to do this for a long time.
Yes.
We actually have people lined up right now.
Yeah, and if you want to apply to be on the show, they can.
And the number one rule is you have to come here.
Here, yes.
We will not do.
No, we're not bringing all this.
Well, definitely not this.
No.
But we're also not like going to do. Like nothing will turn me off faster than a podcast with people talking into webcams.
Okay.
And they're just staring at you. Like,
yeah. No.
Like I immediately turn most of those off.
Really?
But if like they're like the future, I really like watching the future stuff.
I like him.
I will put another web page over it because it freaks me out to have people stare at me while they talk.
You are
really,
hysterical.
It bothers me. So,
but wait, so we're not doing that, right?
But
So
this
that's
is
okay.
why you and I talk
okay,
like this.
got it.
This is the number one reason why I wanted this. Because it's more of a engaging conversation between us.
So you don't want people looking at the camera and talking, and that's what bothers you because that's just fucking awkward, isn't it?
It's like listening to the news.
Yeah, that's true. We're not reporting the news.
We're not reporting the news.
No.
So I want to have people on. We have a travel agent, a specialized travel agent for vision impaired.
Really? That's
Yeah,
fascinating.
and we helped him build his YouTube and his TikTok, like where he's at right now.
Are we going to have the cute accountant on there too that I did headshots for?
I hope so. I keep trying to bring her on. I think
Yeah.
she's a little nervous about being on. So I would love to have an accountant.
Okay.
Because I'd love to like help other companies learn about taxes,
Yeah.
things we should know.
And she's like so super personality and
She is
friendly
peppy
and
as hell.
like, you know, because to me, an accountant is like this big ass stuffy shirt that like I never want to talk to an accountant. But after I met Heather and did her headshots, I'm like, you need to come on our show. So Heather, girl, I don't know what the heck you're waiting for. We have beer.
Now she's working for a new company, so she can't misbrand herself with the new company.
She just needs to help us and come and chit chat a
True,
little bit.
true,
You know,
but-
like she
but
doesn't need to
they have
brand
rules,
anything.
so
Okay,
we wanna
gotcha.
be
All
respectful
right.
of
we will
that.
be respectful.
But
Yes.
there's lots of people that we would love to have on here and have the conversation.
Yep.
But I also love having this conversation with you because literally every week you teach me something and I grow because of it.
You teach me something. Yeah.
Like we're never. It is almost dinner time for my cats. So my office manager here is crying.
Pick him up. Show him.
Come here, bud. Yeah, come on. Come on, you're killing airtime. You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? You're building up suspense.
Jump, Rex. Oh my, Rex is gone.
Yeah, there goes the suspense. you built up expectations and then
so
you trashed
cute.
them. It's my firm belief that the moment we think we know everything and the moment we think we're good is when we fail and everyone passes us by.
And especially with the kind of business that we're in, it's like it's constantly evolving. Like we're like, okay, social media. It's like social media is literally evolving by the day.
Right.
Okay, not just by the week or the month. So it's like every day, like we have to be like, okay, what's new? What's happening? Well,
Right.
like the whole Reels thing. It's like Reels is great, but now it's like it's suddenly like back to the carousel, and it's not like 6 or 10. It's like 2 carousels specifically, like 2 photos. I'm like, okay, so now we're posting only 2, but why? Because that's what the algorithm says.
That's what the algorithm is saying
yeah.
is most people aren't going on past 2.
Yeah.
So they're suggesting
that, yeah.
use 2. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm just making an excuse and like rap. I'm basically doing the Midwestern goodbye at the end of our show.
All right, I finished my beer, so we're done.
Show's over?
Cool.
Show's over.
And Rex says show's over.
Time to go feed the cats.
And I gotta go pee because I drank too much beer.
How many episodes do you end like that?
Because you make me sit here for so long.
I love it. It's my fault.
It's always your fault.
Okay, let's go home.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
This is the good life. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. Whoa, oh.